Hi everyone, Faisal here. In this video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about artboards in Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to break it all down clearly and step by step. Stick around until the end. You'll definitely learn something new about adding pages, and how to delete them, how to add the bleed, how to arrange the pages, because sometimes the order changes when you add them. I'll explain all of this in great detail. Alright, now about the name Artboard in Arabic. Some people call it Illustrator pages. Others call it, for example, the artwork, or some people say, I put my work inside a page. It has a lot of names, but the correct name for it is Artboard or Artboards in Illustrator. Alright, let's take a look together now. Let's start. I want to begin right from the very beginning, which is in Create New, and I'll explain how to work with it from the moment I click Create New. Alright, I clicked here on Create New, or you can use the shortcut command +N or Control +N on Windows devices. Okay, now this window will pop up for me. So, to see the artboard settings in more detail, with more settings and options, I'm going to click here on More Settings. Okay, we've clicked on More Settings, and right up here at the top, you'll clearly see the file name that Illustrator assigns by default. And here is the number of pages. And here is the spacing between them, and so on. Alright, now when you open it, it might start with just one page. You'll find that all the options here are turned off, not active, not working. So as soon as you add, let's say here, the number of artboards, which is the number of pages. We add 8 pages and it starts. Here, we can control it. Alright, I'll start by explaining this part, which looks like this. It's clear to us what it is and why it looks this way, like 1, 2, 3. And how I can use it, or what exactly it's useful for. Now, I set it to 8 pages, and I'll leave it on the first option. This is at the beginning of the options that we see, or these markers that we've set. Alright, this arrow is very important because it shows you that the order starts from right to left. Okay, so this is the first one that I selected, which is the starting point. I have a page, first of all, that's 20 by 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And here, this is the distance between the art borders, which here is 7 millimeters. If we make it 1 centimeter, that would be good. Alright, so this first one, which is grid by row, starts from left to right, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes down. So it starts 1, 2, 3, 4 from left to right, and then moves down to the next row. Okay, now this option here is column, which is the number of artboards per row. So it's telling you that it will only put 3 pages next to each other. You can increase it if you want. So if you set it to 4, you'll have 4 on top and 4 below. So let's set it to 2 here. So it becomes 1, 2, and then continues with 4 below. So now it will show up once we click Create. We click Create Document, and as you can see, it gave me 2 pages horizontally and 4 vertically. Alright, okay, let's start by seeing how I can know the page number. As we explained, it starts from the left to the right. First of all, if you click with this black arrow on the same page and scroll down here, you'll see it gives you number 1. Number 1 is shown down here. Alright, and if you click on the page next to it, you'll see it gives you number 2 here. Alright, you'll see that it gives you number 2. So it goes on like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, that was the very first option we saw, which is the one that gave me from left to right. And I set it to put 2 next to each other and 4 below, as usual. Okay, now the Artboard tool, which is this Artboard tool. Now, as soon as I click on it, you can start controlling the page. For example, if we click on the first one up here, you'll see it shows you its size at the top. So you can, for example, move it or shift it around. But I'm not going to go into that or explain it right now. I just want to see how I can control it from the window. Now I'll go back to Create Document, so we can see how I can control the second arrangement. But I just want to go from Window to the Artboards panel and see what we have there. Alright, now here, because I selected one page using the Artboard tool. And here, it shows me the number of pages, which is from 1 to 8. Alright, if we click on this, it will move you from one to the next. Now, with the Artboard tool itself, you can also select all of them together like this. Sorry, like this, one page under the other. Sorry, but you just select the Artboard tool and press Command A or Control A, or from Select. Choose Select All, and you'll see it selects all the pages for you. Alright, here, if I click on the first option, it will show you. It will show you page numbers 1, 2, and 3, and you can grab and control whichever pages you want. Now, I'm going to go back to these arrows because they're really important. But first, I want to explain the method I was talking about, or the indicators we saw. We chose the first one. Now we want to choose the second one. Alright, now let's go back here. We click, alright. Now this one, the one I'm going to choose, which is the opposite of the one I chose a little while ago. The one we chose is the opposite of this one. See, this one, its order starts like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, going down. Let's select it and see. I chose this one. Let's click. Alright, and let's see how it gave me the order. Now this is page number 1, as we can see. These are the page numbers. If I click on the page right below it, it will give me number 2, or it's 2 here for me. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, exactly. So now we know from the first two options how you can control the order according to the format you want. Let's take a look at the third and final layout. Actually, sorry, the one before the last, which is this one. This one shows them to you. If you notice, the option or the rows option, which puts them side by side, has disappeared. So this one puts them as pages next to each other. I have 8 pages, and you'll find them 8 pages side by side. If you give it exactly as we see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, and the fourth and final option I have here in More Settings. You'll find that now I have this layout. Sorry, let me move this arrow like this, so when I click on it, you'll see them stacked on top of each other. It gave them to you. All of this depends on what you prefer in your workflow. How you arrange things in the way that's most comfortable for you. For example, Illustrator is different from InDesign. It gives you a lot of freedom to control your work. So, anyone working at the end of the day, you want to work in the way that suits you best. Because in the end, it's all the same. Exporting for print or online is basically the same thing. But it really depends on your preference, whether you want the pages side by side, stacked below each other, or above each other. That's totally up to you. The last thing I want to explain here is, if we click on this right here. When I started working on these, this was the arrow we saw. This small arrow here was pointing to the right, as you can see. Now, if I click to the left like this, it's as if you're switching things up, like switching between Arabic and English. At first, we had it set up. Basically, the order was from left to right. Now, once I click the arrow, the order will switch to right to left. Let's see, let's give it a try. You'll notice this is page number 1. This is page number 2. This is page number 3 for 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's go back to the first one. I've opened it here. Alright, now let's see. The method of adding is very, very important. Now, you might be working with a client on an 8-page brochure, or a 10-page brochure, or a 12-page brochure, whatever it is, and they ask you to do something. For example, this page, which is currently number 1, needs to become number 2. So you need to add a new one. Sorry, this one actually needs to become number 1. So if I come over here and click on it, alright, then I go ahead and select the Artboard tool from the side panel. And I clicked here. And I dragged in this direction. Okay, I dragged in the directions. You'll notice that this page became number 9, and its name is actually copy. You can control the name however you want, but it became number 9. But I want it to be number 1, so that when I export to PDF or for the images or whatever it is, this one should be number 1. How do I make it number 1? This is really important, guys. Some people used to redo all their work from scratch. They would make a new one so that, reorder the pages. But here, there's a new feature that was added, and it's really, really cool that I want this page. To become page number 1, I go to these arrows I mentioned a little while ago. Alright, when you click like this, you'll notice that this page, which was number 9, has now become number 1 here. It's now number 1. Alright guys, so it's really important to arrange the pages or the order. Many people, I mean, they really need it. For example, this page here is number 3. You want to add a page. And this one becomes 4. Or this one becomes 5. It's fine. With these arrows, you control it however you want. Alright, let me just talk about something simple, which is how you name or how you can name the page. The Artboard tool, if you double-click on it. Double-clicking with the mouse will let you edit the name here. For example, if I name it Faisal1, you'll see it becomes page number 1. And this is really useful when exporting JPEGs or PNGs. So, if you want to export images from Illustrator, you'll find that it uses the page name. So, if I name this one Faisal1, I'll find that it shows up here in the program as Faisal1. And you can also name it whatever you want, as you like. Faisal2. Alright, okay. Now let's go back and explain something really cool and important, which is the Artboard tool in Illustrator. Alright, now as soon as I click on it and select one of the pages that you had already selected with this black arrow. Okay, if we click on one of the pages or the item, you'll see it appear up here in your menu bar. It shows you the page size and its offset. Here you have the option. If you click, it gives you the same options we accessed with double-click, rename, delete if you want to remove it, new artboard, and it shows you its properties. Alright, what if I double-click on it? What are the things here that I can really benefit from in my work? First, here it tells you about center marks. What are center marks? If you check this option and click OK, what will it show me? It will show me this arrow that we see in the middle, or this cross-shaped symbol. Oh. It will display it in the center. This serves as a virtual guide for you while working. You might find it useful, or you might not. It depends on what works for you. Alright, if we double-click again and look at the option below, which is crosshairs, this one is nice. This one is really nice, guys. When I selected it, it basically divided the artboard for you, or gave you the exact center points. This could be useful. For example, if I have opened a rectangle, or let's say a square, or even if you have an image. How can I benefit from it? You can just place it like this and simply center it using the arrow keys, and you'll see that it easily gives you the center of the page, right in the center, in a very simple, straightforward, and quick way. And if I drag a guide from here, take a line and place it here in the middle and add another line like this, it also makes it much easier for me to know the dimensions of the artboard or to find its central point. Alright, great. And now if you want to remove it, just double-click and click here. Look, this is the Safe Erase video. This is for people who work with video. It divides it for you according to the page dimensions. But what I'm explaining is something I'm working on in centimeters, so it's about printing, or books, or pages, or brochures. So I'm working in centimeters right now. This might be for people who work with video dimensions in Illustrator, so they can export it. Let's say for Premiere and After Effects. Alright, that was the most important thing about the Artboard tool, that when I double-click it, what can this actually do for me? Okay, Here the custom size is set to 20 by 20 for the page. Here, you can change the page size in Illustrator at any time. And now I'm also going to explain how you can add a page in whatever size you want, depending on the nature of your work. If I click on A4, you'll see that this page by itself becomes A4, so it shows up like this for you. All you have to do is move it and space it out. So the nice thing about Artboards in Illustrator is that working with them is really, really easy, and the layout is completely different from InDesign. People who say it's like InDesign, no, it's actually totally different from InDesign. Here, you can open it up, move the page wherever you want, and control it however you like. Alright, that's good. Just remove this video thing. Okay. Now, if we look at something here, when I clicked and selected the Artboard tool, you'll notice that it appeared here. But what didn't show up is the Document Setup panel, by the way. Alright, so what's its shortcut? Is there a shortcut for the Artboard tool so you can control it? For example, if you're working in centimeters and want the Artboard tool to respond in millimeters or pixels, especially for those working with adaptations and similar needs. So you press Command plus Option plus P on Mac, or for Windows devices, it's Control plus Alt plus P, and the Document Setup panel will appear. And you can also find it under the File menu. I think if you go here, you'll find Document Setup. That's the shortcut we talked about. If you click on it, it will pop up for you. Alright, now this. The main goal here is to walk you through Document Setup and show how it can improve your design process and overall efficiency. Alright, the first thing here is the bleed. It's really important when exporting, and I've covered it before in my Illustrator and InDesign tutorials, so make sure to check those out if you're not familiar. So, if you want extra bleed for cutting or trimming during printing, you can, for example, set it to 2 millimeters and you'll see it. And if you click OK, you'll see that it appears for you. It shows up in red around all the pages. So you control the document setup here for all the Illustrator pages. You can't. For example, by God, I want this page in centimeters and I want it in millimeters. No, that's not possible. Let's select it again and check it out together. Now, we said this is the artboard, okay. And here I have the grid size, which can be medium or small, basically, the page dimensions. And here I have the color of the page itself. So, for example, if I set it to dark and click OK, it won't really show up much. This is what lets me talk about what's between the pages. Alright, it's better to keep it light, just like it was. Yeah, so this was the most important thing in the document setup. But the most important thing is the units. For example, if you open an Illustrator file from someone else and you want to edit it, you might find that the settings are in pixels. It's very likely that you might go to, let's say, Preferences, then General in Illustrator. And when you go to Units here and try to change it to centimeters or pixels, you might find that it doesn't actually change the measurements. For example, the size of the artboard itself might still be in pixels. So you press Command plus Alt plus P, or from File, and set it to pixels. You'll notice that the settings, just like we see here, 2 millimeters became about 6 pixels, so you confirm it. Okay. You'll also see up here that the measurements are now in pixels. Alright, now for people, for example, who work on adaptations or those who like to open pages randomly. And you might say, honestly, in the end, I'm not working on a brochure or anything like that. It's also a really simple process. You just open it like this, no problem, and you set it to portrait. And as we mentioned, each page has its own size or fixed measurement that you can control. So, for example, if I set it back to centimeters here and remove the bleed, you can remove the bleed at any time. I set it to 0 here, and then I set it. Okay, perfect. You'll notice here that some of my pages are in portrait and some are in landscape, depending on what I chose. Now, there's a cool trick, which is the shortcut for the artboard itself. It's Shift and the letter O. It applies it for you, and as soon as you click on the page, you can control it. So let's say I want this page, for example, 10 by 20, you'll see it changes like that. All right, now there's something I want to mention. Let's say, for example, I have a design outside the artboard itself. There's a shortcut for that. This is really, really cool and makes things a lot faster for you. Let me just explain it here. Color. If we want to change the color, let's pick a nicer color than this. So, for example, let's say it's a green color. Just suppose, guys, that this is your visual or this is your design. All right, you want to open a design. Sorry, you want to open an artboard for this design. Okay, now if you go here and you want to go to transform and you find, for example, that its size is 28. Let me just adjust its size to 30. Why should I make things harder for myself by, for example, opening a page like this or an artboard and making the page itself 48 by 30 and then grabbing the design? And if there are masks, it's going to be a bit of a hassle and I'll have to recenter it again within the same artboard. This way you will find the winning in a lot of sweet and very short things. As soon as the design is right in front of you like this, just select the Artboard tool and click on the design itself, and you'll see it creates a separate page for you. See how nice that is? It's super easy, really awesome, and just great. Yeah, it makes work easier and speeds up the process. Like a lot of times, for example, you might have four, let's say 4 designs or 4 layouts. And you want to put them all in one Illustrator file. And for each file, for each design, you want to make an artboard. So why should I open an artboard and sit there? No, you just need to make an artboard for whatever you want. Just use the Artboard tool itself. Click on the visual, and it creates a dedicated artboard for it automatically. Okay, now let's say these are the pages I have. How do I find out how many there are? Like we said, you go to the window menu, then to Artboards, and it will show you all the pages. Okay, if we click on a page from here on the name, you can also control it from there. And if we notice that I want to go to page to Artboard 4, I just double click here and it takes me straight to page number 4. So this Artboards menu from the Window tab is really important and it makes things much easier for you. Okay, now here, let's say I want to create a new page, which is New Artboard. If you click on it, you'll see that it arranges the pages for you or adds a new page according to the document's dimensions. Illustrator itself, like, for example, this was my last page, but it didn't give it to me here. Why didn't it give it to me here? The reasons. The first reason is that I added this page randomly, meaning I didn't set its size as it should have been. If you remember, from the very beginning when we opened the document, we set it to 20 by 20. So it recognized that all the pages are 20 by 20. So it gave me the last one, which is number 5. It gave me that one. It arranged it for me like this after this page, because I was clicking on this page. Okay, so if you, for example, clicked on page 15, where is that page? Sorry, page 16, the one for this video or this design. I told him, create new and I will give it to you. It will give you this nice layout after the last page you selected. Alright, so for example, if I select page 2 and I want it to give me a page after page 2. So when I do that, it gives it to me right next to it and arranges the pages for me, just like we can see. Alright, so if you noticed, guys, the Artboard feature in Illustrator is really, really important. Maybe I took a bit longer explaining it, but honestly, it's super useful for work, it's very easy, and it saves a lot of time for people who used to have to go work on InDesign. Now, it's totally up to you whether you want to work with InDesign or Illustrator. In the end, I'm a client who just wants to see the work, but the addition of the Artboard feature really made things much easier. And when Adobe added it to Illustrator, they did it with that special Adobe touch. It was added in a professional way. It's not just that it became like InDesign with pages. No, they added artboards, so I can control things just like we saw in the video. Yeah, it's really great, simple, and easy to use. So that was pretty much what I wanted to explain in detail. I hope everyone benefited from this topic about artboards. If you'd like to ask any questions, please write them in the comments and I'll get back to you, God willing. Thanks for watching.